We're now ready to start finalizing the last section of our heroine's performance. So we're just about there. Let's go ahead and play the animation to take a look at how things look in different views. The front view looks like it needs a little bit of work. You can see the character is kind of wobbly around frame 23. It breaks up the flow in her motion, so we'll need to clean that up. You can see on 23 the arm is collapsed in. That also needs to be fixed. Let's go ahead and take a look at more of a side view. The side view doesn't look too bad. How about a top view? Alright, so we're just about there. So what we'll do before we get to frame 23, we'll first take a look at the feet to make sure they're planting properly. So we'll just kind of rough them in a little bit more. And then we're going to focus on the follow through at the end of the animation. And once we're satisfied with that, we can then start to polish other sections that need work, for instance, frame 23. Let's go ahead and show our controls. Let's take a look at when the feet plant. So you can see the feet hit the floor at the same time on 22. We don't want that to happen. We want an offset. So let's go ahead and have that happen just to make sure that this action looks natural. There may be times when the feet hit the floor at the same time, but remember, animation is about rhythm and achieving appeal through rhythm. So with that in mind, if we can break up our rhythm in an entertaining way, we can count that as a success. So let's go ahead and grab all of our foot controls on the left foot. And let's have the foot plant faster. So instead of planting on 22, we'll grab the key on 22 and move that over to 21. So that hits first and then the next foot. Much better. Alright, so at this point, I'd like to start working on the follow through at the end. Let's go ahead and start with the center of gravity. And then we'll branch off from there. So as the character moves forward on 26, let's have her move forward a little bit more because this was a pretty fast action, so that's going to continue through. So on about frame 35, we can translate her forward in the z-axis. We'll just worry about one axis at a time. We will need to move her over in the x-axis, but we'll get to that. Alright, so we've moved her forward. Let's go ahead and hit play and see how that looks. So that might be a little bit too slow. I'll just go ahead and grab the key on 35, bring that over to 33. So she kind of moves forward. Now she needs to move back. So we can have that happen on about frame 47. Just kind of move her back a little bit more. And then to finish, we can move her forward slightly on 55. Great. That looks very nice. Okay, so at this point, let's go ahead and work on another axis. Let's say the y-axis. So she's made contact with the surface. Now she, of course, because of the hop, she needs to move down a little bit more. Let's go ahead and have that happen on 31 just to offset that from the translate Z. So the motion does not look mechanical. So just bring her down just a little bit more. And then we could have her rise up on around 42. And then bring her down slightly on 55, the last frame. Let's go ahead and see how that looks. If you need to, feel free to hide your control objects so they're not a distraction. Alright, I'd say that's looking very nice. Let's go ahead and work on the x-axis. So she moves forward. Let's go ahead and have her shift over in the x on around 32. Again, offset from the other keys we've just set. Just kind of move her over to our left, her right in the front view. And then slightly over on 39 in the opposite direction, very slightly. We need to make sure she stays balanced. And she's very skilled, so she'll be great at balance. Then I'd like to move her over a little bit more to our right on frame 51. Again, just to keep her balanced and make sure the motion's just right, just the way we want it. All right, so as we hit play, the front view, so that looks very nice. And it gradually comes to a stop. Let's go ahead and take a look at the side view. Beautiful. How about the top view? Great. Okay, so because of this motion we're getting, we're going to want to also animate the ball roll. So as she moves forward and then starts to come back, we can add a slight offset to the ball roll. We're on about frame 34. Have that rotate forward very slightly. Then as she starts to move back, around 45, we can have the ball of the foot rotate back. And then forward slightly on 55. Great, so taking a look at this, we may want to rotate it back a little bit more on 45. So a little bit more. I think it wasn't moving as much as it should be. So that looks much better now that we've added some more rotation to it. So let's go ahead and take a look at the animation now. Hit play. Beautiful. How about the front view? Great. All right, let's go ahead and continue our follow through. We'll stop the lesson here and work on the other sections of the body, for instance, the chest, the head, until we're sold on the last section. And then at that point, we can then start to polish everything else and call the animation done. So we're just about there. After we have finished the blue character, we'll then just go ahead and double check the entire animation to make sure we haven't missed anything. And with that said, there's always something to fix, but we can still spend some time double checking our work to get the best result possible. So we'll stop the lesson here, and in the next lesson we'll continue working on the follow through at the end of the animation.